And I've never seen anything like these ladies. The way they build, how fast they grow teams, how they cold market, how they sponsor. You would not believe how many people these ladies sponsor in a month. The numbers are just staggering. And I'm talking, they've been doing this for years, and they still sponsor more than a person a day, every day. So if you've ever wanted to learn how to sponsor more people, grow your teams faster, grow your Facebook groups, these are the ladies that really created this whole ad tag message formula that has taken over and revolutionized how we do network marketing around the world. And so really get your notepad, get your pen, get your teams, make sure that they're on this Zoom. If they don't get on it, make sure that they go watch the replay on the Wolf Pack, because it'll be streamed into the Wolf Pack. And then make sure you watch it multiple times until you learn it, you get it, you know it, and it becomes part of who you are. Now, I'm lucky to call these ladies my friends, but amongst other things, they're people that I look up to, that I learn from, that are teaching me how to be better in this business. And so that's the other thing that I would tell you is continue to learn. Learners are earners. So you can always get better. As good as you might think you are right now, if you don't progress, you just won't go to the next level. You just won't have that kind of breakthrough. And so I'm excited. I'm going to turn it over first to Alicia Yarbrough out of Tampa area, Florida. It's probably not the exact city, but it's close. And then she's going to introduce her ladies, her wonder twin powers, Tanya and Lily, and they're going to take it away from here. So, and on top of being fantastic networkers, fantastic online marketers, they're fantastic people. I mean, these are the people you want in your pack, in your tribe, that are just loyal, that are just as good and big heart as you could possibly hope for. So, Alicia, why don't you take it away? I'll just shut up and take some notes.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having us here. I'm super, super, super excited. So I don't know a lot of you guys, so I'm just going to kind of get in here and share kind of where I started, just so you get to know me a little bit, because I think when you get to know somebody and you kind of see where they started and where it came from, it will help you kind of understand how we kind of took this path, how we started growing our business, and just, kind of the whole thing. And then we'll give you guys some juicy, good content, and hopefully you guys will get lots of good stuff. So, okay, this is the gist. When I was introduced to network marketing, I was introduced to a product. You guys, this is like a whole nother world. If you've never been in network marketing, I know all of us obviously started somewhere. You just don't even realize like this whole thing, this whole other, like world. I honestly thought network marketing and products were what bored house moms did to get like free candles and Tupperware and things like that. I had no clue people actually made money doing this, like no clue. So I was introduced to a product and literally just wanted to lose weight. But I'm going to go back a little bit, because how I was introduced to the product and how I started building all really comes together in like a whole package. So my life is very colorful. One thing you guys are going to learn about me, I don't take notes. I just kind of talk. I'm not a speaker. I'm a lover. I'm all over the place. So hopefully you guys can keep up. Public speaking, those type of things are not my forte. Loving on people and doing big things that's my strong suit. Okay, so I have 6 babies, 6 myself. Like I said, I've lived a very colorful life. I had my first son when I was 14 years old. We lived in a little garage. I've been on my own since I was 15. But pretty crazy. I didn't grow up around money. In fact, I never knew a single person who was successful, honestly. So it was, just kind of that generational poverty, statistic, but I was happy, anyways, growing up and not having money and then having babies so young and then being out on my own, you make ends meet in different ways. Well, I used to take my kids' clothes as they would outgrow them, and I would sell them in these shop and swaps, take that money, and I would use it to buy, like next size up. I don't know if any of you guys have ever shopped in local shop and swaps on Facebook, but that's kind of what I did, or secondhand stores, things like that. Well, when I was introduced to this product, not this one particular, but the first network marketing product I was introduced to, had 6 babies, like I said, overweight, couldn't get the weight off. And, even though our weight doesn't necessarily define us as women, I mean, it does something to your self-esteem sometimes, and you just kind of feel crummy. So I was like, listen, I don't know what's in this stuff. I don't even really care. Just give me whatever you got. But I seen this lady, and she was posting in a shop and swap, and she was looking for somebody that was willing to exchange fake eyelashes for dog grooming. And, I had dogs, I knew how to groom them and stuff. So I was like, oh gosh, I've always wanted fake eyelashes. And I could never afford anything like that, but so I started grooming her dog in exchange for fake eyelashes. And when I was in her studio, I heard her talking about this product. And so I'm like, listen, whatever you have, I want it, I want to lose weight. And so anyways, what that did though, is I started using the product. I never lost any weight on it, but I started Googling stuff and just kind of looking into what it was. And then I started watching some videos, and I'm like, holy smokes, people do this for work. And so, and like I said, I met her in a shop and swap. So it was crazy. It kind of opened my eyes to this whole other world. Like I said, I didn't know anybody successful. I didn't know anybody in network marketing. That girl didn't even continue with that business. I started playing with it a little bit and just looking around. And then I ended up getting involved in this other company and just really, really had a great time. I didn't have a sponsor when I started that really was working the business. I didn't have anybody to teach me. I had no clue what I was doing. But what I did know is that I seen people, other women. I basically got on Facebook, started following women, started seeing what they were doing. And I'm like, holy smokes, these women are just like me. They're not it's not like there was all these educated, wealthy, successful women doing these home businesses. It was just me, just a normal girl. And I started watching and just kind of following, following these ladies on Facebook and YouTube and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? If they can do this, then there's no reason I can't do this, because I'm no different than them. So I just kind of had to figure out what that was going to look like for me. And so going back to the shop and swaps, like I said, my kids would outgrow clothes. I would sell them on the shop and swaps. I would take that money and I would buy more. So, I was like, I've seen people post stuff on the shop and swaps, it's more like furniture and clothes and, household stuff. But I've seen people post candles, and I'm like, wonder what would happen if I started posting in these groups and, maybe just post, some, listen, you guys, in the beginning, it was a hot mess. I probably looked spammy. It was definitely nothing professional looking or nothing really great, but I didn't have anybody to show me. So I just kind of started posting some stuff in these shop and swaps, and people responded. And I'm like, oh gosh, this is awesome. This is awesome. So I was getting tons of people interested. And honestly, I was only posting locally because I didn't really understand the whole thing or about, outreach and reaching out all over the world and things like that. Because remember, I literally was just shooting in the dark. I was just shooting stuff everywhere. No rhyme or reason. Like I said, I'm sure it was a hot mess. But I started getting a lot of interest, and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? Like, what do I do now that people like are interested? And so I'm like, okay, I have to find a place where I can like put people. And so I started a Facebook group. I promise you that probably looked even worse because I didn't know what at all I was doing. I would just dump stuff in there, and I would, but I mean, it was before and afters and product stuff. And like I said, it was probably super spammy. I'm sure it looked terrible, but it was working. I basically had everyone I was talking to in one place. So I just kept going with it and just kept going with it and kept going with it. And I'm like, when I first started, my youngest just turned 9. My oldest is going to be 29. So there's a pretty big gap in kids. But my point is that I had all these little kids. I had no computer. I had this little broken up phone, but I mean, it was a phone. So I was doing all this from my phone. And I just remember thinking, okay, I've got to do something different, a little bit different, because even though, like I was putting people in these groups, I was posting in these shop and swaps, I'm like, I didn't have tons of friends on Facebook. I think most people, when they start, maybe you have a couple hundred friends on Facebook or something. I mean, the average person that's not a network marketer, you just have, some maybe friends, some family or whatever. And I'm like, I need more friends. I need more people, and although I was getting some friends from the shop and swaps and stuff, I knew that I needed to do something a little bit different. And I was always running around. My kids were in baseball, and I was just, kind of all over the place with this little broken down phone. And I'm like, well, I'm in these shop and swaps and there's all these other groups. Where can I make some friends? So I started joining some mom groups. I started, because I was feeling so much better about everything, I was up and I was walking. So I started joining like some fitness groups and just some different things. And I just started making friends. I started talking to people. I started going back and forth. And I mean, how many of you guys have made some of your closest friends just online like this, that you've never even actually met? Because I've met some of my very, very best friends that are like family to me just online, so this is where I met Tanya, and she's here with us, and you guys are going to freaking love her. So I was in a mom group. I was in this mom group, and we were just, back and forth, and her and I connected, and we just started doing big, big things together. And I want her to come in here and kind of talk about that for a minute, just because it's a whole different thing. She has a whole different story. And like I said, I just want to kind of break down a little bit of where we're coming from. So that way, you guys have like that feel of who we are. And then we're going to dump all kinds of good stuff on you guys. So Tanya, you want to come on in here and share a little bit? Because I just think like, the way that we met, the way that I met these two girls is perfect for what we're doing today, because I didn't know them. I met both of them online, and now we've just been rocking it together. I've created 2 6-figure positions prior to where I am now doing just this. And so has Tanya. So Tanya, what's up, girl? Happy Saturday.
So early. I'm not a morning person, you guys, at all. And she told me that I had to be on here at 8 o'clock in my time. I was like, on a Saturday, for real? But
fine.
That means I have to do my makeup and everything really early. But anyways, hello and good morning. And I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Alicia and Lance. So yeah, I met Alicia in a mom group. It was a mom group that was more local to her, but there was also several moms from my area in that group. And I just remember that they eventually made one day a week that you could market a product or whatever you wanted. So I started using health supplements when I gained 50 pounds. Like I was at a job, I was miserable, I hated it there, and I ate my feelings. And so I gained a lot of weight, and I needed to lose weight. So I simply just joined to lose weight, but I fell in love with the product. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I need to tell people about this. I didn't really plan on going big with it or anything. Just maybe selling to a few friends or helping a few people out. And that's kind of where I started. And so I posted on that one designated day, and that's when Alicia saw it, because it was the same thing that she was doing. So she messaged me and she reached out to me and she was like asking me some questions. And I said, I don't really know what I'm doing either. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And so we connected. I was able to move, and she became my sponsor and she started working with me. And so what happened next was basically I had been working a full-time job, and I had left a state job to go to that job for more pay, to get away from that horrible boss that I had. And fiscal year end, because I was in accounting, at fiscal year end, they laid me off. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a single mom. What am I going to do? I have no job now. I never should have left that other job. And I started to panic. And so I went and got like 3 different part-time jobs, and I was working at several different places. And she was like, you got to do this with me, because she was already making, you know, a lot of money compared to what she was used to having before that, because she had never worked. It was just her husband that had ever made any money, and he didn't make a lot to support the 6 kids. So she was like, you have to do this with me. And I was like, I am so bad at sales. Like, I am so bad at it. I cannot convince people to buy anything. And I just don't have that pushy personality either. I don't like to feel like a used car salesman, you know, at all. I'm one of those people that when I drive into a car lot to buy a new car and they start walking towards me, I literally jump in my car and drive off. You know, I get out really fast, look at the sticker, jump back in my car and drive off, which is so mean. I feel bad now that I am in sales that I ever did that bit. But at the same time, I knew I never wanted to be that type of person. And she said, you have to trust me. You have to trust me. I have this system and it's working. And I'm like, my gosh, everybody says that. I feel like every time you join a company, they tell you you're going to get all this support and you're going to get all this help and they're going to teach you everything. And they teach you like a little tiny bit. And then they're like, oh, there you go. You're on your own. And then you're feeling like you're totally lost and confused and you don't know what to do next. But that wasn't the case here. So I told her, I said, okay, well then I'm going to draw unemployment for 3 weeks. You have 3 weeks to teach me how to make money. If I don't make money, if I don't have money in my pocket and my product for free in 3 weeks, I'm giving up. And she was like, holy cow. Okay. All right. Well, then you have to do everything I say. You have to listen to everything I say. You have to do exactly what I say. And I'm like, I'll do it. I will give you 110% for 3 weeks. And in that company, I was able to replace my income from that full-time job that I lost within the first 3 to 6 months and double it within 6 to 9 months. And then it just kept going from there. So it was just super exciting. And we used this system, a copy paste system and a cold market system that we still use today that we're going to teach you guys. And it works beautifully. We've grown Facebook groups to close to 100,000 members, and they stay. Alicia and I have very different personalities, but we work very well together. Like I'm more of I'm a mass recruiter. I can bring them in. I can close the sales really quickly, but Alicia's the relationship person. So it's like, I'm like, okay, you go love on them because that's not really my thing. I'm learning, I'm getting better, but I'm more just like, get them signed up, get them going, talk about the serious stuff. And she's the one that hugs on them and loves on them. And, you know, so
Tanya, let me jump in really quick. This is Lance. So how long have you been in network marketing? When did you start?
Like when I joined my very first, or when I actually
when you joined with Alicia, how long ago did you two
I think it will be 6 years in October.
Okay. So in the last 5.5 years, how many people have you sponsored through social media?
Oh my gosh, you guys, I don't like to really talk about that when it comes to me personally.
Just guess. Just guess.
I'm a freak. I'm a freak.
Okay, well, tell us how many people you've sponsored in the last 5 years.
Probably 3,000 to 5,000.
3,000 to 5,000 personal sponsors, guys. You better pay attention to what's coming next. They are the best I've ever seen. So I'm just going to shut up. I just wanted her to brag for a second.
Yeah.
And you know, like I'm gonna brag on her too, and like on this whole thing, and then we're gonna introduce you guys to Lily, and then we're gonna rock and roll. Because the thing is Tanya was very unique about it. When I met her, like this is the thing too. And so if you guys know anybody like this, I want you to keep in mind that there can be change. Sometimes people just don't know, and they don't know how to do something. And if you have had success at something, don't be afraid to reach out to people like this. When I met Tanya, she was working 3 jobs. She has 2 kids. She's a single mom. She was selling oils. She was selling jewelry. She was selling this. You guys, she was all over the place. So it looked crazy. It looked crazy. And sometimes, I don't know if you guys have seen people like that and you're like, they're never going to do this because they're all over the place. It just looks like they're flinging everything. Sometimes people just don't know. You know, they just don't know that maybe there's a different way. And if you just really, really focus on something and you come up with something that's good and that works. And that's the thing is, you know, people get confused. They get confused. When people are confused, you know, they just don't do a whole lot of anything. But anyways, Tanya is a beast. And I promise you guys, if you show up and you do what we're going to teach you to do, it is impossible. And I mean, utterly impossible to be successful. Pardon me, what?
They're going to be successful. You said it opposite.
Oh God, listen, it's still early for me too.
You said it's impossible to be successful. And I'm like, what?
To not be successful. Like you just, it's literally physically impossible. But before we get into all the system stuff to it, and then like I said, I'm going to introduce you guys to Lily. The biggest thing, you guys, for one, is consistency. Consistency is key. Consistency wins every single time. I don't care what you do. If you keep showing up and you keep showing up and you keep showing up, you're going to win. And that's just the way it is. And this business is so ebb and flow. It's up and it's down and it's up and it's down. And, you know, when it's really hot, it's easy to run because you're excited. But when it's low, that's when people fall off. But that's when you really have to kick ass and just put it into gear. That's when you keep planting and you keep going and you keep going. So you just have to have no quit in you. So please, please take everything that we're going to show you guys and run with it like crazy. So Lily, we call her Lily. She's our little Lily bug. But anyways, I met Lily in a cold market group. So Tanya, I met in what we call like friendship groups, interest groups, and Lily, I met just cold marketing, running ads and stuff. So I love that we're all on here because to me, it shows you guys that for one, I'm not just talking a bunch of smack, that it actually works because these 2 ladies are powerhouses. And Tanya, I met in a friendship group. That's where we just make friends. And I don't know if you guys have ever trained on that. We can go over that like a whole different time too. And then Lily, I met in a cold market group, which is what we're really going to dive into today. And she's just been awesome. So Lily, what's up, girl? You guys look how beautiful she is. She's so cute.
Hi, everyone. Let me see if I got this going. Can you see me?
I see you.
Okay, so my name is Lily and I'm from California. So I met Alicia probably 2 years ago, something like that. I met her through a garage sales group. I was just on Facebook like everyone else, bored, stay-at-home mom of 2. At the time that I met Alicia, I was actually pregnant with my daughter. And I seen an ad that she posted, like, feel good or do you need energy? So the energy part was like, okay, I need that. What is she talking about? I need to be part of this group. So I messaged her. She invited me to her group. I literally watched her group for probably 8 months, 6 to 8 months, until I finally was like, okay, what is this? I need to feel good. I need energy. What is everyone talking about? How is everyone losing weight? So let me step back a little bit. I was pregnant and I got diagnosed with gestational diabetes, and diabetes actually runs in my family. And I had no energy. I was a stay-at-home mom. I was bored. I was tired. I have an 11-year-old son in sports, and I just didn't have it in me, to keep up with my kids. So I just wanted to join for the energy. I wanted to feel good, and I no longer wanted to feel tired. So I started taking, supplements, and I found love, and I was like, okay, what is this? I need to keep taking this, but I can't afford this. I'm a stay-at-home mom. My husband is the only one that brings the income. I just can't keep paying for this. So Alicia mentioned, you can get this for free if you share it, and, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. So I invited all my friends into the group, and that just wasn't enough for me. So I right away, literally just dived into cold marketing right away. I didn't wait. I didn't know what I was doing. I just started posting, and so just post in the garage sales. I usually do 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and 3 ads at night. And I just started doing it over and over and over and over. And that's how I got involved. Yeah. And I appreciate Alicia for it. And now I love it. I absolutely feel like I know these girls, like they've been my best friends, like forever. And we've only met once. So I absolutely love it. But yes, so invite all your friends to your group. The group is your main selling tool. You want to get everyone in there. Even if you feel like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to, I don't have no sales experience. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have an esthetician license. Like, I know nothing about sales, but the group is your main selling tool. Get your people in there. It's going to do the job for you.
So I just want to say something too really quick, because I'm trying not to go over in the chat, because like I said, you guys, I'm all over the place. Like, we will be all over the place. If I start answering questions, we'll never get to what we need to do. But I did see somebody just ask if we use the funnel. You guys, this is the thing. We've never used anything. This is what's crazy. So my mentor, my sponsor, him and Lance, this is what freaked him out. So some of you guys may know Cedric Harris, and he's the one that kind of, introduced me to the company, him and Lance. He was like, how in the actual heck have you guys done this with no funnels, no systems, no corporate videos, no lead system, no email marketing, just nothing. He's like, just pure grit, just pure grit. And I'm like, because we're a bunch of badasses, that's why. And now all you guys are going to be too, because we're going to take this to a whole nother level. I love it. I'm so excited. And so what I love though about Be Epic and what I've seen so far is you guys are already kind of running with the ATM method. Are all of you guys, obviously I can't answer and look through the chat, but I don't know if all of you guys are using this system. Hopefully you are. Hopefully we can shed some light on it and help you refine it a little bit better because I don't know exactly how you guys are doing it. I just know what we've done. And like I said, we've grown groups huge. We have several groups. We just started another one just a couple months back, and you guys, has it hit 14,000 already this morning? And it's just growing leaps and bounds. So this call obviously is about cold marketing, and it's about culture and community too. And that's what I want to start off with at first. And then we'll get into how you make this kind of happen. So what I guess I want to explain to you guys, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, but I just want to reiterate it because I think it's super important. Culture and community keep people. We can help you guys generate leads through Facebook groups and do all the things, but that's not going to keep them. That's going to bring them to you. Yes, that's going to possibly create a sale, but we're not into direct sales like that. We're network marketers. We want to get people in and we want to benefit residually. And so what your focus needs to be first and foremost is creating an organization that's super sticky, one that makes people feel good, because just like all of us on here, we're all selling the same thing. We all have the same compensation plan. You have to set yourself apart and you have to put yourself in a position that people want to buy from you. They want to be partnered with you. They want to love you. They want to do business with you, because at the end of the day, this is a relationship business and it's very much a you business. And what I mean by like a you business is because really it does revolve around what you bring to the table and what you do for your people. You know, I know a lot of people say, you know, that we lead from the front. And yes, I believe that you should be an example for your team. I don't care how long you've been doing this. Like, I talk to these girls like every freaking day, but I also believe in leading from the back. And what I mean by that is bringing people in, building people up, loving people, pushing them out. And that's something that we are really, really, really working on, because you want to create, like I said, a culture that's sticky and loving, and you want to build leaders. You want to be somebody, you want to be a leader that's not just gaining followers and building followers. You want to be a leader that's building leaders. And so we kind of just want to go through all of that stuff. And then also the groups and what the groups kind of look like. I know there's the 100% Epic group. And I don't know if all you guys use that group or if you're using different groups. We actually have our own group because we just do things a lot different. I'm not discrediting anything. So just know that we're just here to tell you how we do it, what we feel that works, actually what we know that works, and give you guys the options to take those tools and run with it. So first off, everyone should be in some type of a group, whether you're using the 100% Epic group, whether you have your own group, you need a group. Because when you have a group and you can do it correctly and run it correctly, it becomes almost like a 24-hour opportunity meeting. And you just heard Lily say that it took her 8 months watching. She just sat in the group. So I found her in a cold market group. I got her into the group, but then she just stayed there. You know, well, I mean, if you're, sponsoring and getting tons of people into the group, it's physically impossible to personally speak and talk to thousands of people every single day. And I'm a heart person. Like, I want to love you. I want to love everyone. I want to hug you. I want to touch you. I just love everybody. But it doesn't matter how much you love people and you can't physically, there's just not enough hours in a day to talk to every single person. So having people in a spot that you can speak to them all in the same, place, it's a must. If you want to grow a larger organization, it's a must. And then keeping in mind, the way that you're going to run the group. So before and afters, it sells. It does. You have to, for one, you have to be a product of your product. You have to be in there personally working in your group. You have to be in there sharing the successes and the wins. And I'm not just talking about weight loss, you guys, because all of our bodies are different. And some people lose weight really fast. Some people lose weight really slow. Some people, it takes a long time. We have to switch up products. We have to try different things because what works for me may not work for you, and it may not work for her, and it may not work for him. So in these groups, though, what's so great is because you don't know when somebody is going to see something, just something that really touches them and they're like, oh my gosh, that's me. Or they just relate to it. So if everybody is in there and everybody is talking and everybody's posting their wins and everybody's sharing testimonies and everybody's doing the things to make this group run, it's like this just super well-oiled machine. It just goes and it goes and it goes. And then what happens is instead of you being you doing everything yourself and spending from morning until night, just trying to talk to hundreds and thousands of people and all this stuff, you're leveraging your whole entire team, you know, like you're all working together. I don't want to be on Facebook from the morning till night. I mean, I am kind of on there a lot because I just am, but what I mean is if I need to like go do something, I know my squad is there. If Tanya needs to go do something, she knows her squad's got it. If Lily needs to go do something, she knows her squad's got it. Like we all have each other. So we've learned how to take this group, grow it huge, put inside the group what makes people feel good, what makes me feel good, what makes, you know, other people feel good, what makes them feel part and what makes them want to stay. And then we're all doing it together. We're all working together collectively. So that way, when one is gone, when two is gone, or something happens, I want to go out on a hot date, like, you know, my squad's got me. And so those are the things that like we need to kind of go over. Tanya, are you going to help like screen share, or did Lance make you a host or co-host?
I'm not sure. I mean, I can screen share. Yeah.
I can make you co-host.
Yay. Thank you.
Yeah, so I want to say something about that. You know, we really make sure that within our groups, you know, that we're offering other content as well that's going to keep people engaged, and it's not just all about sales. I mean, nobody wants to get dumped into a group where it's like, buy my stuff, 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 you know? You're like, it's a turnoff. So if you are creating your own groups or working your own groups, you really want to sit down and think about what your main goals are. And Alicia had every single one of us really sit down and kind of like, she wanted us to write a letter to like our ideal customer. What would you say to the people that you feel like you can help the most? And that really helped us kind of design and create what kind of stuff we would want to have within our group, what we felt like we had to offer to the people within our group. And people love it. People love what we've done because there's a little bit of Alicia, there's a little bit of me, there's a little bit of Lily, and everyone else that's our amazing admins and moderators and whatnot and team. And it really, really gets people to stay. All right. So are you wanting to go into, do you want me to go over what I did on our team call? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we can go over some of it. I think we should definitely break down for everybody. And let me just kind of, because there's a couple things popping up on here from what you just said. And I just want to explain that a little bit more now, because I think it'll get people a little bit confused. And it's freaking awesome. And somebody just said, okay, 5 topics. So if you guys have not really worked and focused on branding yourself as a person, you should. Because again, like I said, you need to design a brand for yourself that people can trust and they love, and give them a reason that they want to work with you. And we took that same concept and moved it into our group. And like Tanya said, the reason like why I had them write a letter, I actually went through this myself. And it was deciding who your target audience is and who you're speaking to. Because if you go out there and try to speak to everybody, you speak to nobody. Honestly, when you try to speak to everybody, you speak to nobody. It just doesn't make sense. And a lot of times we don't understand that. I didn't understand that. I'm like, oh, okay. You have to have a target audience. You have to decide, who are you talking to on your Facebook? Who are you speaking to? I know who I'm talking to. And a lot of times I feel like it ends up being somebody like you. I think that's just natural. So for me, I'm talking to, that woman that had no support, that struggled and nobody believed in her. And all those things that I struggled with my whole life to get to where I am now, I'm talking to her. So on my Facebook, when I'm posting, it's always directed to a woman. Always. It's not that I don't love men. I love men. They're great. But my target audience is women. And statistically, we went through like our groups, like all these ones we had, and you can pull up the stats, and only 4% of our groups were men. And so we were like, you know what? Like, we have such a large following of women that that's where we're going to move towards. And we have some amazing men in our groups, amazing men. So it doesn't discredit them at all. But even, you know, like even Cedric has said, you know, like the majority of his organization ends up being women. So he's not going to be silly. He's going to spend a lot of time pushing value that way and leading that way. And for me, like, it was the same thing. I'm like, okay, if our groups are mostly all women, then let's really, you know, run towards that direction. Oh, hi, Yair. I love you too. Anyways, I'm like, that's one of our men. But anyways, so we decided that in our group. And so, yes, I've seen somebody say, do you pick 3 to 5 pillars? I myself have surrounded myself around 4 or 3 major pillars, and sometimes things branch off. So for all of you guys, one of the pillars in your brand has to be health and wellness because of what we're doing. It only makes sense. And so although health and wellness is one of your pillars in your brand, there's many things that surround that. So there's kind of like, you know, your pillar and the things that surround that. And, you know, so that's going to be nutrition. It's going to be being fit and being active. It's going to be, you know, your supplementation and things like that. So all those things go together. So inside of our group, the way we've designed it, we talk everything health and wellness. We're talking food, we're talking fitness. We'll go in there and do, you know, like workout videos. And we've just done so many different things and post that kind of stuff. And then we focus on women. So we're posting, you know, women empowerment things to encourage women to be strong, to encourage women to feel good and to understand that they're loved. And so we just kind of have like a way that we roll with it. And I really encourage you guys, if you have a group, figure out who you're talking to. Obviously, you know, if it's not a single group and it's like ours, we're a squad. So we kind of came together and we're like, okay, who are we talking to? Who are we all together? Obviously, we've seen our groups are predominantly women. So we're talking to women. Obviously, we're in health and wellness. So we're talking everything health and wellness. And, you know, so we just kind of go at it like that. So Tanya, do you which group do you want to pull up?
You tell me what you want to see and I'll pull it up.
Okay. Or should we actually just pull everybody through let's pull them up through some shop and swaps. Let's show them what we do. Let's show them what we do. Who's ready to see what we actually do? So we're going to go back to the whole shop and swaps and where we actually get a lot of our leads from. So again, friendship interest groups, we build friendships there. That's where I met Tanya. Those to me, I feel like are slow sizzling relationships. Cold marketing, you're getting people and they are sending you a friend's request with the intent to get into your group. When I'm meeting people in the friendship interest groups, I don't just go put them into my group because that's tacky actually, because to me, that's just more like, it's just more cold messaging, I don't like that. So when I build friendship groups, when I'm in friendship groups and I get people that I end up friends with, I allow them just to watch my news feed. And then when they see things on there and they ask questions, then I can say, hey, you know, we have a group and blah, 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 and get them into my group that way if they're asking questions about it.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
So basically, I'm going to show you guys really quickly here how we find groups. One thing you want to keep in mind is you guys can market anywhere that we can sell the products. And there's so many groups on Facebook that you can find groups everywhere. So sometimes one of the things that I'll do is I'll just simply go to Google, you know, because I don't know every city in the United States, let's be real. Although I did make a good list while sitting on an airplane one day because they have like the little map on the screen. And so as we were flying, I was just writing down city names. And And that's what I do. But you could just pick any state that you wanted to. So you could just say cities in California. You know, you can obviously think of the main ones, but here at the very top of Google, it's just going to give you all these different cities, right? So different ones that you may not have thought of, you know, like the most popular ones that we all think of, you know, you're going to get some more ideas here. Okay. But you're going to want to also choose larger areas. I don't join any groups that have less than 10,000 members. And I'll show you how you can see that. And you also want to look at the activity that is happening within those groups so that you're not posting in dead groups, right? So I'm going to click here and say 20 largest cities, but I don't want to do the main ones. So we'll just go down. We'll say Carlsbad. So you're going to go back to Google. I simply just use the search bar here. Carlsbad, California, buy, sell, trade. You can type buy, sell, trade. You can type buy, sell. You can type shop and swap. You can type Craigslist. You can type Facelist. There's so many different ways here to do it. We're just going to do buy, sell. Oops, except for I can't spell today. Buy, sell. You can do this from your phone as well, and then you can filter it to just groups, right? And then it's going to show you here. So like this this group right here, I can see that it has 15,000 members and there's about 1,400 new posts a day. So that tells me right there that this group is a pretty active group when it's having that many posts a day. You know, so I'll go through and I'll join these groups. So this is where it starts to get a little bit tricky, is they start asking these questions. Are you a business owner planning to post into our group to advertise? They may or may not allow business posts. So I try to look. This one's probably not going to, because it has this specifically here. It's probably not going to let you post in there. You want to be very careful when you're joining groups like this that ask these kinds of questions, because sometimes they'll get really nasty and they'll start reporting you to Facebook for spamming and this and that. And then, you know, you could build, I've done it before, you guys, it was horrifying. I built Facebooks to the maximum 5,000 people and had people start reporting me, and they shut my whole Facebook account down. And I lost connection to all of those potential customers. Granted, yes, they were still within our Facebook group, but at that point I couldn't prove which people I added, because it takes that off of there on Facebook. So you also want to, while you're doing this and you're working through your cold marketing, is keep a list. I use Google Sheets to keep my list because I can access it from any device that I have. And I can show you guys how I do that as well if we have time. So that's just one example. I want to try to join a few of them just so I can go through. So this one only has 3,300 members. Probably wouldn't join that one. This one has 24,000 with 1,800 posts a day. So I'm going to go ahead and try to join that one. We're going to see. Open to all USA residents. What state do you live in? I always answer with the state that I'm trying to join in. So that brings me to a whole nother topic. Once you start cold marketing like this, you want to make sure that you go to your Facebook profile and you edit your profile, or you go to your settings on your phone and you edit your settings. You want to make sure your workplace, if you have a job, which most people do when they start this, that your workplace is hidden and that your location is hidden. So where you live is only viewable to you. And the reason for that is because that opens it up to where you can market anywhere. Because there are going to be some groups who are going to be like, well, you, like for me, I live in Idaho. You live in Idaho. Why are you coming into our group? Like, why are you trying to post in our group? So my location is completely hidden on my Facebook. And so I do that. And I have people do that with their jobs as well, just so that they don't look and see, well, you work at blah, 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 and blah, 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 you know. So that's how they can also figure out where you live. So you just want to be smart about it, and make sure that you're doing things the correct way. So I would just put here that I live in California and hit submit. They're never going to know anything different because my location is hidden on my Facebook, right? So Riverside, this one, I just want to go through a few just in case they have some weird questions so I can tell you what I do. Okay, so here's one. This is perfect. Name the river that runs through Riverside. So if you don't know that, then basically what you're going to do is Google it. You can Google the answer to any of these questions. Some of them, like this one, I don't know if Google will have whether or not is the Riverside Drive in abandoned. I don't even know what that means. But you just Google the questions and find the answers and answer them appropriately. They're doing these kinds of questions to filter out people who don't live there, but you know, Google is your best friend when it comes to these things.
Let me add really quick, don't feel bad because you don't want to feel like a, liar pants on fire because you're saying you live there, because basically they want to make sure that people within those places are doing hand-to-hand sales because there's a lot of scammers, you guys, but with what we're doing, we can ship anywhere. So it doesn't really matter because it's not hand-to-hand sales. And obviously, like our products are coming straight from the warehouse to the person. So, and again, you're just getting people into your group. You're not, doing some hand-to-hand sales when, I'm in Tampa and the group is in, wherever, California.
Exactly. So yeah, you'll get different stuff. And, so searching for groups this way by putting in city name works, county names. I mean, I would write these down. You can search by county names, zip codes, area codes, city names, parishes, different stuff like that. You can provinces, all of that you can search by in here and find different groups to go post in. There is so many groups, you guys. There is room for everyone. There is literally room for everyone. Okay. This brings me to another good point that I want to touch on. Another thing that you want to go onto your profile and do is you want to hide your friends lists from being public. You want to make your friends list viewable to only you, and you want to make your groups viewable to only you. It's unfortunate, but there are people that don't want to do the work for themselves and they want to feed off other people's work. So they want to go in and friend all your friends and join all your groups and, do all that and basically steal all your hard work from you. So just make that stuff hidden on your Facebook profile so that they can't do that. And if you come into one of these groups and you see somebody who's already posting in there, just use common courtesy. What I typically do is I typically look at their Facebook and see if they're with the same company as me or if they're with a different company. And if they're with a different company, I'll usually block them just because I don't want them going on my post when I do post and responding to all of the people that respond to my post, and basically stealing. We all hate to think like that people will do this kind of stuff, but they do. So you do the different things that you can to protect yourself. If it's somebody within the same company as me, I won't try to get into their group or anything like that. I don't comment on their stuff so that they'll add me into their group or anything like that because we're probably on a different team. And that's really unprofessional to do that. But I will wait to post. I will wait several hours, 24 to 48 hours before I post in that group. Let them have their time to use that group and whatnot, and then wait 24 to 48 hours before I ever post in that group. Because posting right on top of somebody else is very tacky as well. You don't want to do that. All right, so any questions? We're going to teach you what we're going to post. What do you do when someone asks you where you live? So you mean as far as someone you're personally talking to? Or you mean if it's a question in the group? If it's a question in the group, I just put that I live wherever I'm trying to post. If somebody asks me on my post if I live there, I don't respond to them. I don't answer their question. I just don't. Okay. So, Alicia, do you want me to get into like an example of what we post?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and pull up a group, kind of give, a couple different examples of some of the things that we post and kind of what you say, how how we get them in there.
Well, I can show them an example actually. I'm using
and just kind of walk them through it as far as using the discussion and.
Okay. So I just did a training on this, so I have all this. I will go make a post for you guys really quick, and then I'll show you that one. So I got to go find a group that Alicia's already in.
Are you on my other profile again?
Yes. So now I'm
posting
it out for you. So when you start posting these ads within these groups, you want to make sure you're posting it as a discussion. If you just click sell something, they're going to make you select from here. And then if you do, they want all this blah, blah, blah information and your location and everything like that. So we don't post that way. We choose discussion, and you can do this from your phone as well. It'll be on that little slider bar that comes across. We do discussion, and we post it as a discussion. And this is just an example of one of the most popular things that we post. You can post a lot of different things. Oh my gosh, why did it not copy what I wanted it to copy? Hang on just a second, guys. Sorry. Now they're going to see some of your messages.
I'll answer some of the things really quick. Somebody just asked, how many posts do you post a day? So what you guys need to remember too is Facebook was not intended for business like this. They have business pages and things like that. We don't even mess with those. So you have to be really careful, because basically what you have to do is you have to work around Facebook's algorithm. If you're doing too much of anything, it's going to land you in Facebook jail, and that sucks. I've never been in real jail, and I don't want to be in Facebook jail. I have been in Facebook jail, but so you just need to be careful of what you're doing. So you can join several groups, but Tanya, what do you think? Lily, what do you think as far as how many you should join at one time?
Well,
some of us push the limits.
The way the Facebook algorithm works is it sees you joining groups and posting in groups as the same type of activity. So if you go and you try to join 5 groups and you post in 5 groups back to back, chances of going to Facebook jail are pretty high. It used to be where I could post, like kind of what Lily said, I would post 3 or in 5 groups in the morning, 5 groups in the, around lunchtime, and 5 groups in the evening. And then before I went to bed, I would join 5 new groups. That started getting me in Facebook jail. They've tightened up the algorithm so much since I first started. So now typically what I do is I'll post in 5 groups during the day sometime, and I'll join 5 groups at nighttime. And I definitely space that out. Just to be safe. But you also, the more you're interacting on your Facebook wall, the more you're commenting on people's stuff, the more you're messaging people, doing different types of activities, because you also have to keep in mind you've been posting in your marketing group as well. So how many times that day have you posted in your marketing group? And how many times have you posted in maybe your training group, or even in the Wolf Pack, or whatever. So you have to remember, I've already posted in some of my group stuff that has nothing to do with me actually doing cold marketing. And so you have to think of all of those things, and you have to space it out and go slow. And I would say in the beginning, when you first start cold marketing, because I'm going to be very real with you guys right now, this ad that I'm showing you guys, there's been times I've gotten like 1,500 comments of people wanting to come join my group, okay, on one single ad. So in the beginning, you might want to test it out a little bit and only post a couple so that you don't get overwhelmed, because it can get very overwhelming if you go post 5 ads and every single one of them gets several hundred comments. Pretty soon you are super overwhelmed trying to keep up with it. And then Facebook's also going to restrict you while you're trying to reply to those people, right?
Yeah. So just do things to break up the algorithm. Send messages, make a post on your wall, go comment on your friend's stuff, because you should be doing those things daily anyways, because, you know, getting the people, getting them into your group, that's all, that's, you know, it's just this whole system, you know, the whole thing that you have to do. So you should be commenting on your people's stuff anyways. So that way you're kind of rotating through your friends, because Facebook is a tricky thing. And it likes to control, you know, who you see and who sees your posts. So yes, Christy, the text replacement. Tanya is all about text replacement.
If you have an iPhone, text replacement will save your life. For sure. For sure.
You also want to comment on your friend's page all the time. So that way when you're posting in your page, it pops up on their Facebook. If you're not interacting with your friends, they're not going to see anything that you're doing. So you want to make sure that you're liking their photos. I don't know if they post a picture of their daughter. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Just comment. And that way your stuff is constantly popping up on their page.
Yeah, and that's how you're going to build a relationship with them, because these are people. You got to remember, when you start cold marketing, you don't know these people. They're total strangers. But the second that you start interacting with them, I had a gal, because I had started a whole new Facebook. So I had a gal that I just got her from Cold Market, and I started seeing these posts on her wall about her son, like being on life support and whatnot. And so I started interacting with her about that. I wasn't trying to just spit my products at her. I wasn't trying to just get her to buy something from me. I was genuinely talking to her about her son and praying for her son and praying for her to have strength. And she's trying to take care of his children now and everything. And I actually was, you know, and I talk to her very regularly now about her son and her grandkids and all of that. And she ended up coming to me and said, what are these products that you're selling? I want some, because I knew she was going through a rough time. I knew she was having a hard time. So I did not immediately try to get her to buy something from me. Yes, I got her into my group, but I left it at that once I realized, like, she's dealing with some shit right now. So I wanted to be sensitive to her situation. If you're paying attention to people's Facebooks, you can learn a lot about them. And they're going to feel so much more connected to you if you just talk to them about something that is about them, whether it's their husband, their children, their vacation, their whatever. It doesn't really matter what it is, but they're going to feel more connected to you. And that's what you want to happen.
Yeah. So your goal, and it's something you need to have in the back of your mind always, when you're cold marketing and you're getting people, your goal is to take them from hot or from cold, hot. I'm like, look, I'm still backwards, you guys, as fast as you can, because, you know, you don't know anything about these people. When you're meeting people cold market like this, and with the ways that we're going to be showing you, you don't know them. There's no relationship there. You know absolutely nothing about these people. So your job is to take these cold market leads, yes, get them into the group, but your job is to make them warm to hot as quickly as possible, because going back to the very beginning, people want to order, join, whatever it is, whether it's business opportunity, they want to do it with somebody that they actually know and have a relationship with. It's so, so, so important. So the goal, cold market, from cold to warm to hot as fast as you can. Okay, let's show them these ads.
All right, perfect. So this is an example of an ad that I use very regularly. It's super popular. It says, I have a new group on Facebook. It's a private support group for health and wellness. We post healthy recipes daily, workouts, and more. Who wants to join? If you're interested, let me know and I'll add you. No pressure to buy anything ever, just lots of helpful info, encouragement, and fun. I will go ahead and drop this ad in the chat if anyone wants to copy and paste it. This is just an example. You can tweak it to however you want to tweak it. You can change it up, you can add, you can take away, you can do whatever that fits you for this ad. With this particular ad, I mean, I do a lot of food recipes because let's be honest, people love food. I usually typically add 5 food pictures with mine because different people like different types of food. I don't want to add different foods, you know, I want to have a variety. So I have like some seafood, some vegetables, some tacos, you know, whatever. I add different things. You want to find good quality pictures to use of obviously delicious looking food and post it with your ad. And so this is just what my ad would look like. Let me go ahead. Hopefully it doesn't have to be approved. Oh shoot, of course it does. Well, let me find another group so I can show you what it looks like once it's posted. So here's another group. Make sure you hit discussion. Like we said, you want to make sure you're posting it as a discussion. Copy and paste or text replacement, whatever you're using. Add your pictures. Post. Okay, so here's what the ad's gonna look like. You know, when someone is scrolling, what I always tell my people is you have about 1.5 seconds to catch somebody's eye, or even less than that when they're scrolling a yard sale group. Most people have in mind, oh my gosh, my son needs some new shoes, or my daughter needs dance shoes or whatever. And they're literally doing this, you know, as fast as they can until they see something that catches their eye, right? They're scrolling. They're not literally looking, oh, what is this?
So
you know,
your job is to stop their scroll.
You want to catch their attention as quickly as you possibly can. So if you're using an ad with a before and after and you're saying something like, who needs more energy, better focus, better sleep, something like that, because you can definitely do ads like that as well. You just want to make sure that you're using words that aren't going to be flagged for making medical claims. So you have to be cautious on how the words that you're using. We can't make any medical claims. Most everybody knows that. But if you do that, you're going to probably post a before and after or something with it. If it's like a weight loss post, who needs to lose weight, different stuff like that. I'm going to get into that, Mike. So you're going to use a before and after. You want to use a before and after that, number one, it looks like the same person in both pictures. If they can't see their face, that's going to turn people off because, and I know a lot of people get really self-conscious when they're sharing their before and afters and they try to hide their face, but you're really not doing you or anyone else any justice by doing that because they want to see that it's the same person in both pictures. And so you want to make sure that they can see their face and definitely tell like that's definitely the same person, you know. And the crazy thing is, be for real, it's happened to Alicia, it's happened to me. They're like, I post my own pictures and they tell me it's not the same person. For real, that's me. Like, I'm not using someone else's pictures. Alicia's done it. They've actually thought Alicia was 2 different nationalities in both of her pictures before. She's like, nope, definitely me in both of them. So, you know, just make sure you're using pictures that are good quality. A picture of somebody doing their before and after and their house is like totally trashed in the background or disgusting, don't do it. Just don't do it. You want to just make sure that you're using good quality pictures while you're doing this. That's funny, Julie, because I swear these products make us all look younger. They make us all look younger. I've heard that so many times. I love it when we share before and afters and people are like, why does everyone look younger? And I'm like, yeah, you want my products, don't you? For sure. So you have to be friends yes, you have to be friends. Yes, you have to be friends to invite to the group. So let me go back to that one that I had already posted. So this is a great way to search and find like ads that you already posted is you can just type your name, your Facebook name here into Facebook and then type like some words that you used in your ad and search Facebook and you're going to find all your ads you posted that have those keywords in it. But so here's one that got some comments. So I think it did. Yes, it did. So this is how I do it. As people start commenting and they say that they want to be added or they're interested, we're getting a lot of people in here. We have one I haven't replied to yet. I say, please send me a friend request so I can invite you. You'll sometimes get people who will say, well, I don't send friend requests to people I don't know. And then I simply reply to those people and tell them, I totally understand. The internet can be crazy. If you send me a friend request, I can invite you and you can unfriend me as soon as you accept the invite. You're still connected to that person through the group. If you look at the members of the group, it'll still show that they're invited by you. And you could do it that way, but you do have to be friends with them. I have the cookie. You have to remember, you guys, you have the cookie. You have what they want. You have recipes to these. That's the other thing. Make sure you got the recipes in your group. If you're going to post this ad, you better have these recipes in your group. You don't want to get people in there and be like, well, where's that recipe? And you're like, oh, hold on, let me go post it. That's tacky. Don't do that. You want to make sure you already have it in your group. If you're going to post an ad similar to that. But always remember, even if you have the before and after picture, if people are posting a before and after picture, if people comment and say, well, what are you selling? Don't answer them. They don't get that answer till they come and join your group. You have the cookie. You're in control. If they want the answer, if they really want to know, they're going to send you a friend request and they're going to come check it out in your group, right? There's no harm in it. Facebook groups aren't a prison sentence. They can leave at any time if they decide, I don't like this group, I don't want to be in here, this isn't what I thought it was, whatever. It's not a prison sentence. They're not trapped in there for the rest of their Facebook life. They can get out. So I simply just do that. Please send me a friend request so I can invite you. Now, Alicia, are you wanting me to go into what I do after I get a friend request?
Yeah, let's just go over that really quick. Try to wrap this up in 15 minutes. But you guys, if this, I know it's crazy long and we just go and go and go. This will be inside of the Wolf Pack. You guys can rewatch it if you have to get off. Yeah, let's give them the goods. And you guys, again, you're going to get people that comment on your posts that can be nasty, that can be rude. And you think like, why wouldn't people just scroll? Why would they have to stop and comment and say things? But they do. They do. What I'm going to say to you guys is don't argue with them. Don't even comment back. When people are nasty on the post, chances are that's probably not going to be somebody you actually care to work with anyways, because do you really want to deal with somebody who's just nasty like that when they could have just kept on scrolling? So just block them. You know, like if you have someone that's commenting on your post that's giving you a hard time, the block button is your best friend. That way, when you go to post in that group again, they're not even going to see your stuff. You know, and I mean, I don't worry too much about, right. So they don't comment on your post here. You know, I don't worry too much about, you know, other people seeing the negative comments. I mean, there has been some posts that if it completely, because listen, negative attracts negative. So sometimes when one person says something slick, other people will come on and start saying stuff. If it gets really bad, you can delete the post, repost it again. But usually, honestly, using the recipes, I don't really think that it's quite the same effect. When you post before and afters, you can get some people on there acting crazy. Don't you feel like that, Tanya, Lily, that with the recipes, it's not as bad. With before and afters, you can get people acting. Somebody always has something slick to say. And then honestly, you just block them, block and move on.
Yeah, and if the post gets too far out of control, I just delete the post, and after I block everyone first, delete the post and repost it in the same group, and none of those people can. Oh, look who's messaging me. Can do that again. So this gal, this Dee Dee gal, she sent me a friend request, right? Because I said, please send me a friend request. So what I would do is I would go into my Facebook group and I would invite her using the invite button into the group. And then I always send a message with the link to the group. Hey there, I just invited you to my group at blah, 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 blah. Please accept your invitation. You can say something like that, very simple. to them to get them to make sure that in case that they're in their notifications, they didn't get a notification that you invited them to the group. You're still sending them the message with the link so that they can click on the link and go find it. On these sales sites, you also post a before and after picture. Yes. If I won't just post it before and after picture by itself, but I will post a before and after picture with an ad. I'm trying to find you guys an example here really quick. Do you have anything?
And the before and after pictures, like Tanya had kind of said, but just to reiterate, when you're using before and after, make sure that your wording is not a big paragraph. Nobody is going to stop and read your story, even if it's great. They just don't. It's got to be a great, clear picture that stops people scroll, and it's got to be a pretty simple message to get them into your group.
Well, there's some that are really good. I'm going to show you guys one right now. This is I don't know if you guys can see this, so let me act like I'm going to go post this.
Yeah, I think the emojis kind of help like brighten it up and kind of catch people's attention a little too.
Yeah, using emojis or even having people reply with an emoji is really, really good. This is a good one here. If you couldn't fail, how much would you like to lose before next summer? Which obviously right now you would say this summer, and then you could do these heart ones. That's a really good one. Can you see that? Can you see what this says in the message, Alicia? Here.
No, I can't see on my phone.
Oh, you can't? Okay.
Just because it's so small.
So this is another really, really good one. I'll just copy and paste it here really quick. For the
their phone. Some people can see it, so that's good. But yeah, if you post it in the chat, it'll be good. But using things like that, because it gives people, it's almost like it gives people, so like with the recipe one, you can do drop an emoji, you can do, all kinds of different things to get people to kind of interact. And with this thing, it's the same thing. She's basically, saying like, put the heart, for what fits you. And for some reason, I just feel like people enjoy that. I don't know. I feel like they're more apt to that. And, like if they're putting their response, they are asking to be into the group. So it really makes it easy. And then like Tanya said, some people are not comfortable with friends requests, but letting them know, hey, listen, I totally get it. I understand, Facebook can be kind of crazy. Facebook makes the rules though. I don't. So in order to get you into the group, I have to have a friends request, but you can unfriend me right after if it makes you feel better. And it's usually not a big deal.
Right. So basically, if I was doing one with a before and after picture, I would go in, like, for example, I'd probably go into like the 100% Epic group, find if I don't, or use my own, whichever. I would find like a really good, clear, nice, good before and after picture. And I would post it with something like this ad that I'm going to share in the group or in the chat with you guys. With something like this: who has 30 pounds to lose and looking for 10 people ASAP. And so these are just different examples of ads that you can do in buy-sell trade groups. And they work. I mean, they work a lot. So I have tons of different ads. And switch it up, you guys. If you're using an ad for a while and you're not getting the same interaction on it that you were previously getting on it, try something different. Try a different ad. Don't keep going with the same exact thing that's not working, okay? And I write a lot of my own ads. I'll write them up myself and I'll try them. Sometimes I'll get no responses. I'm like, okay, well, that was a dud. Okay, well, let's try something else. Just don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Don't think that, well, I just suck at this whole thing. I'm not going to do this anymore. Like, that's not it. Network marketing and doing this type of thing with cold marketing, it's all trial and error. It's all learn as you go. You're going to find things that work really well. You're going to find things that you might have wasted a few minutes on, which is fine. Just keep going. Just keep going. But one thing that Alicia has always taught with this system that we're teaching you right here is don't ever completely try to reinvent the wheel, because this works, you guys. This works. I literally started a new Facebook, started building a new Facebook in October, and I'm almost to 5,000 friends on it. Okay, using this system. It works. Anything else you want me to do, Alicia?
You're so adorable. So, okay. So again, you guys kind of going over like the whole system, you know, everything together. You're getting into groups, you're cleaning up your Facebook so it kind of fits your brand. You're getting friends requests, you're getting them into your group. Inside of your group, you have to have a main pinned announcement. You have to have it, you know, something that explains your groups, explains your group, welcomes people in, and that's where you're going to tag people. So we got to remember ATM, add, tag, message, you know, so you're adding people into the group. Now we've kind of given you guys a couple of the ways that we get people to get them into the group, because, you know, I know when I started looking through this stuff, it's like, okay, ATM, add people into the group, add people into the group. And I'm like, I don't really see where it's kind of telling, you know, talking to people about how to get people into the group. So hopefully this has given you guys or sparked some ideas of how to get people into the group. So you're adding them into the group, you're tagging them in your main pinned announcement post that, you know, like I said, kind of explains the group and what it's about and what your goal is for the group, what the target is for the group. And then you're sending them a message. If you don't do these things, especially sending them a message after, you are just, you're missing a huge step. You're missing a huge step. I can tell you what I message people. We'll see if Tanya and Lily do the same. And because again, you know, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Add your touch, add your fire, add your feel, add your warm and fuzzies, add your flavor, yes, but just oil the wheel. That's it. Just oil it. You don't have to change it when it's still working. And right now it's still working. So what I do is if I'm tagging people on the post and then sending them a message after, it might sound something like, hey, Tanya, I just added you into the group and I tagged you in the main announcement so you can look around. I know you're going to love it. I always attach my link because people don't like to wait and sometimes ask, and they love Google. They just love Google. So when you have them in the group, they're going to see what's going on. Sometimes people won't respond back or message you. They'll just go and start Googling what you have inside your group. So again, I'm going to put something like, hey, Tanya, I just added you into the group, tagged you in the announcement so you can kind of check it out and see what it's about. I know you're going to love it. Here's my link so you can check out the supplement info that we have in the group so you can look at it a little bit further. If you have any questions before I reach back out to you, let me know, blah, 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 but I'll reach back out with you. I'll reach back out to you in a day or two. I like to leave the door open so they know that I'm going to be reaching back out. And that's what I do. I mean, they have the link, they've gotten into the group, they're tagged in the stuff, they have everything there. And then I wait. Do they reach back out in a day or two to ask any questions? If not, I'm reaching back out. Hey, Tanya, are you loving the group? Blah, blah. Do you have any questions? Sometimes they'll respond. Most of the time they respond. Sometimes they will ghost you and just not answer and not respond. So what do you do in that situation? I'll tell you exactly what I do in that situation, because until somebody tells me to go jump off a cliff because they don't want me talking to them anymore, I'm forever going to be touching them, because a lot of times it takes many touches, many, well, I guess just touches. It takes many times for somebody before they decide to purchase the product. I mean, look at Lily, like she said, she sat in there for 8 months and was like, you know, so if I don't hear back from them after I've responded, there's all kinds of different reasons why I might reach back out. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be on their Facebook. That has nothing to do with business. I'm going to make it a point to go on their wall. They post a picture of their daughter. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Ding, ding, ding. She's going to be like, there's that girl with those pills again. I'm like, I'm going to just basically just start building a slight relationship. I'm going to make myself present to them so that way they don't forget me. You know, I mean, so that's your goal. You want to be in front of people. You want to make sure that they remember, because a lot of times it might not even be that they're not interested or they don't like it. People get busy, you guys. We're busy people. We're doing stuff and kids. And so you need to put yourself in a position that you're always in front of those people. Tanya, what do you message people after you tag them? You're muted, sister.
I said, oh shit, when you said that. So anyhow, my routine of what I do is like, I get the person into the group, I message them. So if I'm posting the recipe ad, I don't always tag them right away in something. I don't always do that part of the ATM. If I'm posting a before and after picture, or if I'm posting something about energy or something that they can get from our products, then I do that right away. But I usually message them, you know, something about coming and joining the group. I invited them. I kind of talk in my private message to them a little bit about the group, and I try to explain, because we have different topics within our group, how they can sort the group and find what they want, or what they want to see in the group. And then I usually wait. I check the group again within 24 to 48 hours. I check the members list and I see if they came and joined. If they still haven't clicked the link and came and accepted their invitation, after 24 to 48 hours, I send them another message. So Facebook actually tracks your groups, and they'll track how many people have been invited to the group and what percentage are actually accepting the invitation. So it's really important that you reach back out to them. Because I've had Facebook groups get shut down because the percentage of people being invited versus the percentage of people that were actually accepting it was not what Facebook wanted to see. It makes it seem like the group is really spammy when you're inviting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people and only a few are accepting. So you have to be careful with that as well. So I reach back out in 24 to 48 hours if they haven't accepted it, and I say, hey, I noticed that you haven't accepted your invitation to the group. Facebook's really actually picky about it. So if you could just accept or decline, that would be awesome. And I say something like that to them. A lot of times they'll come back and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I got busy. Thank you for the reminder. And they are super nice about it. Some people are like, oh, it's not what I thought it was, I don't want to join. I'm like, okay, perfect, that's fine. Just go to decline your invite. I typically do unfriend them at that point. If they want to decline coming into the group, I do unfriend them at that point. And then if they ghost me, or, you know, whatever happens, whether somebody has accepted the invite or has not accepted the invite, I don't care. About a week later, I have another message that I send out to them that says something like, good afternoon, I hope you're loving the group. Remember, I sent it to people even if I know they haven't joined. I still send it to them because it's another reminder. And I say, good afternoon, I hope you're loving the group. What do you think about all the recipes or all the amazing testimonies, something like that? I hope you're enjoying it as much as I do. I just want to let you know, if you have any questions, I will be your point of contact. And just putting a bug in their ear again. Sometimes at that point, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I still totally freaking forgot to come join the group, and they'll do it. Other times they'll be like, leave me alone, you know, whatever they want to say, it's fine, whatever. And if they ghost me again, perfect. I'm going to go start commenting on your wall and just doing what Alicia does. I'm going to go start commenting on your Facebook and liking your posts and, you know, becoming your friend. And that's what I do. And then I have specific copy and paste stuff that I send to people depending on different things. So I typically wait until they ask a question in the group. We post a lot of interactive posts, and those are my favorite ones to do within our group. Ones like I kind of sent that you can also use for cold market, that has them post the heart, you know, whether they want energy or appetite control or whatever, and or how many pounds they want to lose. We also post a lot of those within our Facebook group because people comment on those all the time, even if they have no intentions of ever ordering. Well, that gives you a reason to reach out to them. That's at that point when I will message them and say something like, Are you open to using supplements to help you reach your goals? Or a lot of times I'll start it off with telling them a little bit about me and where I started and how I got where I am and how supplements have helped me. Because let's be real, a lot of people think there's so many supplement companies out there. So a lot of people think, well, I've tried everything, nothing works. Y'all are a bunch of liars, you know, or they just don't understand supplementation and they don't understand how the body functions. You know, we're not all of us are doctors and nurses, or, you know, we didn't study this kind of stuff. So they don't really understand why our bodies do need supplements and how we can benefit from supplements, even if it's not just for weight loss, you know, just for overall health. And so that's when I go in and I just kind of explain where I started. You know, I'll tell them a little bit about my story, just a very short, I don't tell this big old long paragraph, just a very short of how I felt when I started, what the supplements have done for me, and how it's changed my life. Just basically 3 sentences. And then I'll tell them, you know, what are you open to using them? And that's when I go and tag them. So we have like our guide set up within our group. Then I'll tag them in like the product sheets or whatever. And that opens up the conversation. But every time that I message somebody, I always end it with a question. I always end it with a question because then it gives them something to respond to. You don't just want to be messaging them a statement. You want to be asking them a question, giving them something to respond to. But that's just kind of how I do it. And it works.
Lily, do you have anything to add to that?
I pretty much do the same thing that Tanya does. Add them into the group, tag them into the intro, and then I wait like 2-3 days and I send them a message. And I send them something like, hey, you know, I hope you're enjoying the group. Same thing Tanya messages them. I hope you're enjoying all the recipes. If you have any questions, I'm your point of contact. And same thing with Tanya. I always leave them with the message because you want them to reply back to you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pretty much copy and paste. Super easy.
That's it. And I stick a lot of stuff in my notes. Like Tanya's got like all her like computery techie stuff. What?
Yeah, tech replacement. Oh, I didn't show them how I track all my people, but we could do that on a different call.
Yeah, we'll do that on a different call. So hopefully you guys, we provided you guys with some tools. Hopefully it was helpful. We'll get on and do some more stuff. I'm sure we'll be jumping on here with some of our other squad too, and just getting in here and doing things for you guys. So hopefully you guys got some great tools. Thank you for having us. Is there anything through the chats that we feel like we should say really quick?
I wanted to say something to Scott because I had noticed that he posted that he's done it all and it hasn't worked for him. And so Scott, it is a little bit tougher for males, and that's just kind of what I want to say. If you are a male and you are doing this, make sure that your Facebook looks family friendly, family oriented. It's going to make it a lot easier for you. If you're married, make sure you have on there that you're married. Post pictures of you with your spouse. So have your spouse in your profile picture with you, have your kids or whatever in your cover photo. You want to make it look like, you know, you don't want to look like a creep, you know, and it's really sad because every guy kind of gets judged that way. And that's just how it is. So if you're married or you have a family, make sure that you put that on your Facebook and that you just make that really at the forefront of your Facebook. Scott is just all about family. If you're not married and you're single, to go take a picture with your mom or something and post it on there. Post pictures of like your little nieces and nephews or whatever you have to do. There's ways to do it, but just make it family oriented on your Facebook, and it's going to go a lot better for you if you're a male.
And I would say the recipes is definitely going to be a better direction. The thing is weight loss and health and wellness. It's such a personal, sensitive subject for a lot of people. And it seems a lot of times that women have a super hard time looking at a man and being like, here, I don't even know you. Let me send you a friend's request. Let's talk about my weight loss. I just think that it's uncomfortable for them sometimes. Like Tanya said, if you fuzzy it up a little bit and you have, you know, your kids or your nieces or nephews or your wife and all that, you just appear softer and not so creepy. So,
yeah. And that's the other thing. Cause Mike said, he said, thank you. for this. That's the other thing. So you guys, I have a guy on my team that I work very closely with. And we have pictures of him and his wife on his page. We have his kids in his cover photo. He gets a lot of interactions on his cold market posts as well. And I think that's why. But he has had people, if you guys are growing, or maybe you already have signed up a female, because let's be real, the majority of the people you're going to sign up, even if you're a male or female, that you can really partner with and pull close to you, that can help you with, that is going to be great. Because he had a gal message him and she was like, is there like a female I can work with? Because she just did not want to talk to him. And he was like, yep, definitely. He put her in a 3-way chat with me. I talked to her. I got her on the phone. I talked to her on the phone. I worked with her. And I'm pretty sure she thought she was signing up with me, but I signed her up with his link. And that's what I did. She's still under him. She didn't get away from being under him at any, it was still his person. I signed her up under him, but I talked to her and made her feel comfortable talking. And now she even talks to him now. I mean, she's like, she's not as scared. I explained to her that we're very good friends and he's a really great person, and, just edified him as a coach and as a person and as a business partner.
I'm just looking through this chat really quick to.
While you're looking, I just want to say a huge thank you guys from all of the Wolfpack, and Lance, he had to hop off, but we want to say thank you guys for sharing and pouring into the team today. I know that everybody got so much value from this. My team's literally blowing up my inbox this whole time. So thank you guys again. Make sure if you don't have team members that couldn't be on today, or you want to recap it, we did live stream it into the Wolfpack, and you can go back and catch the replay at any time in your convenience. So definitely do that, because you guys, there was so much value here. I'll probably watch it a second time just because, you always miss something. So again, thank you. If you're not in the Wolfpack, Kathy, just search the Wolfpack. It's that picture. If you see the wolf howling, that's our picture. That is Lance Conrad's team group, Lance and Angels and Burks, and it's pretty much company wide. So everybody's more than welcome in that group. So send an invite and we'll get you in. So have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks for having us.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.